Several schools, in Oshkosh are going to see some renovations now in the coming years as part of phase 2 of the district's long-term facilities plan. Franklin Elementary among those schools seeing an expansion, preparing to soon welcome more students impacted by other consolidations coming to the city's west side. Our Drew Best is live now in Oshkosh with a look at what's changing in the district in the very near future. Drew.
Yeah, Chris, several families and students and even former staff are walking through the building right now. They all have a priority looking ahead to this expansion. They feel it's important to make sure that this building keeps its character and in the process ensures a strong learning environment for its students, which the district says all of its phase 2 projects will accomplish. Its facilities plan is funded by the district's 2025 capital referendum, which totals over $197 million. Franklin and Oakwood Elementary schools will see major expansions in the next few years, with more projects coming to other buildings throughout the district. These Oshkosh schools are also expanding to make room for students coming over from Roosevelt, Jacob Shapiro, and South Park, which will all close as part of the district's consolidating efforts. Franklin's principal, Catherine Noble, tells me they plan to have an established identity when new faces join their school community.
We're setting some key foundations in terms of structures and routines and right academic instruction and all those pieces. So when we bring in new individuals here and we have a bigger space, we still have something to go off of so that we have that consistency and that predictability so people know what's to expect and what's to come.
Jacob Shapiro will also host a walkthrough tomorrow morning. That will be the last opportunity for family and former staff to walk through that building before it's torn down later this summer. Reporting live in Oshkosh, Drew Best, Action 2 News.